Just collaborating with someone you love and someone who is an inspiration, it's like a big, like, I think I kind of made it because I'm working with like my idol here.
ARIA-nominated and multi-award winning artist, activist and author Emily Wurramara has just released her long-awaited sophomore album called Nara. To celebrate its release, Emily has also just announced a national tour that will stop in at the Stag and Hunter on the 9th of November. We caught up with Emily to find out more about how the album was brought to life. Congratulations on this brand new album. The last time that we spoke, I think you were about to release it. And it's just been such an incredible listen. I'd love to start off by asking you about the title Nara. What is the meaning of the word, and why did you choose it to represent the album?
So when like the word Nara in Warnindhilyagwa means nothing, and after I had the house fire and lost everything. We had moved into a house just in, I think, Dutton Park area. And my mum bought a tattoo gun and we were just like, she would just sit there and tattoo herself. And I asked her to give me a tattoo, and it was like the first tattoo I was getting after the house fire. And I really wanted it to be of significance. And I just kind of went, I think at the time I was not in a good headspace and just running amok and doing all of this stuff that I probably shouldn't have been doing. But I guess, yeah, it was interesting. And so I sat down with my mum and we were going through tattoo ideas, and I said to her, "Oh, what about Nara?" And she's like, "Yeah, okay." And I was like, "Yeah, because we've got nothing." And then I just like started laughing and shit. Like, we just kind of make a joke out of it. And then when I was thinking of what I was going to call the album, because originally I was going to call the album my middle name.
Oh, wow.
But then I was like, looked down and just saw the tattoos screaming out at me, and I was like, yeah, because it was at that point when I realized I had nothing, I actually had everything at the same time, and it was just this beautiful feeling where I finally felt like I could release something and forgive like myself and a lot of people. So yeah, I think Nara is a big kind of statement because it's the only lyric that's in Warnindhilyagwa on the whole album. And I don't even say Nara on the album. So I think
Yeah. It sounds like you've been on an absolute roller coaster. Has releasing this album and writing these songs, has it helped you process it, or like, yeah, what's the feeling been about releasing all of this music?
I think definitely processing the emotions and processing the journey and what I've gone through, because I feel like I've lived so many different lives, and so many different perspectives. And traveling at a young age too, I feel like that really opened up my eyes to a lot of the realities of the world, and what I was going to have to face. And I think it's just a lot of growth. Like the songs that I'm singing about, they're all about my own life experiences, my pain and my hurt, but also like my joy, the love. I feel like I fully embraced all these emotions and feelings throughout the whole album. And it takes you on this journey of rebirth, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And so I want to talk about the song Stay the Fuck Away From Me, which actually features the musical debut of your little brother. So surely this collaboration has been like in the back of your mind for a long time. What was it about this song that you were like, come on, let's go. You're on this one.
Well, it's definitely the best when you get to work with your family on your project, and it just creates this circle of sustainability and like that, family commitment, but also the love. Would Stay the Fuck Away From Me, it was written on Milyakburra, Bickerton Island. A couple of years ago, I was supposed to be supporting Kate Miller-Heidke on her tour, and I just wasn't in a good headspace. I was touring, I was just pumping myself out there, and there was all this stuff that was happening with my own personal life. And so I said to my brother, Arangari to Shikana, I was like, come on, we'll go back up on country and you know, whenever something big happens, I try to go on country and just ground myself and be with my family and my community, really center myself before I go forth with whatever big adventures. And so we're on the island and Sharky was there with us and he was like, yeah, you know, let's just chill out. Let's just not pressure ourselves to do anything. And I had people humbugging me and I just kind of, yeah, I wrote Stay the Fuck Away from Me as kind of like a fuck off, fuck you mob, like kind of thing. I was sick of everyone. But then I was like, it needs something. Like, and then I asked him because he loves poetry and he loves writing, and he was there with me when the song was written. So it only made sense to bring him on board because the song's about it's about so many different things, but the core of it is around looking after yourself and mental health and putting up those boundaries with dickheads and racist fucks and, you know, like the things we have to encounter on a daily, and the energy as well. Like, so having Sharky, having my little brother write that verse, like, come from a really emotional place too, because I know his journey and I know what he's been through. And as a big sister, I kind of look at him and I'm very proud of him and he makes me very proud. And so to be able to collaborate on a track like that, with such a big, heavy meaning, and it's so like in your face and it's so,
Yes.
I think there's power in that. There's so much power in what we've done. And I think this track has definitely helped a lot of people so far, feel what they need to feel and get out what they need to get out. Like just having people message him and message me like about the chorus and how they feel about singing that. Like, yeah, it's really, really, really wholesome.
Mm. Yeah, one of my other favorite songs from the album is See Me There, which you wrote with Lisa Mitchell. It's such a beautiful song because it's almost like you're basically completing each other's sentences. You know, it's a different kind of, I wouldn't call it a duet, but it's like you're sharing every line, which is so beautiful. Can you let us in on what the songwriting process for that song was?
Well, I wrote See Me There probably 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
Um, maybe six. And it's one of those songs that I wrote about just love, you know, when you fully immerse yourself in it and when you are reciprocated what you're given, that energy, doesn't matter to your baby, to your man, like to your lover, like it's about that. And I think when I was writing it and when I allocated Lisa her verses, I was like, I don't want it to feel like a duet. Like I want to feel like we're a part of this together. And I think, especially with the instrumentation, it really takes you on this energy and this adventure where you're like, you want to rock up to the beach with the ukulele, you know, you want to sit there and wade in the water, you want to watch the sunset with the person you love, or the sunrise. Like it gives this really beautiful emotional feeling of being a part of something that's bigger.
Yeah. So you wrote that song 6 years ago. How did you end up getting Lisa to come and sing it with you?
Well, Lisa is and always has been a big inspiration in my musical kind of career. Like when I was in grade eight, um, my music teacher, Mrs. Otto, introduced us to Neapolitan Dreams because it had the do re mi scale in it.
Yeah.
And so we'd sit there and listen to Lisa, and I went on a deep dive and just like became obsessed. And then my grandmother died, when I was about 14, and they asked me to sing a song. And so I sang Lisa Mitchell's Neapolitan Dreams. And it was really special. It was really beautiful. We had such a great time. Well, no, not a great time, but I being there with my family and playing that song with my family was very sacred and special, you know, and especially for my grandmother. And so to be able to collaborate with someone who is a musical like inspiration to me and is a big inspiration to my music, it was the biggest dream. And I just kind of hit her up and was like, oh, sorry, my love. One moment. Anyway, back to what I was saying about Lisa. I think, yeah, just collaborating with someone you love and someone who is an inspiration, it's like a big, like, I think I kind of made it because I'm working with like my idol here.
Mm.
And you know, I just hit her up and she was like, oh my God, like, are you kidding I'd love to jump on this song. And so we just kind of went from there, and she sent her vocal tracks up to me and James while we were in Darwin, and we just kind of put everything together. But she did such a magical job. I'm so proud of the song and how it turned out.
Yeah, wow. That's incredible. It also sounds like you were in the same room, when you were recording. It's so
Oh,
interesting to know that you were like,
that's great.
yeah, yeah. I thought like that's the way that the song sounds is just so like organic. Anyway, that's mind-blowing. That is really cool. Now let's talk about your tour. So you're actually going to be popping into Newey on the 9th of November. How are you feeling about the tour?
I'm feeling really, really excited, but also very, very nervous because it's my first headline show. A lot of these songs I haven't played in these areas. Like touring this album is really nerve-wracking because I'm probably just gonna cry at the end of every show. And yeah, I'm really grateful though because I've got a good solid crew coming with me. I've got my tour manager and my guitarist Manoli joining me for some of the shows, and then this show in Newcastle, we've got the beautiful sis Diagula from Bow and Arrow supporting, so that's gonna be special. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to see you take over the Stag. It's going to be such a beautiful and like intimate show. So perfect. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today, Em. It's always such a pleasure to chat
Absolutely,
with you.
Bonnie. Anytime. Seriously, thank you so much for having me and for coming back for a yarn.